But we're going to release the actual cost per year for the projected savings. And it's $1.6 billion per year in savings out the window. And that's not counting the several billion that over the course of several years it would undo. No, the latest poll I saw was Friday afternoon. It was a My Fox Detroit poll, and I believe it was 38 to 36 with it passing, but 20-something undecided. So, and that was the closest poll I've seen to the truth, because every other poll has been, should we protect collective bargaining in the Michigan Constitution? End of story. This one said, should collective bargaining be protected in the Michigan Constitution? By the way, it would also supersede all these laws and cost all this money. So that was the first poll that had the full scope of what it would do instead of just supporters' talking points. So with 20%, so with a 2-point spread and 20%, 20-something undecided, then that is not polling very well for them, because if you want a ballot proposal to pass, you have to be in the 60s at this point, because you're going to see major drop-off. Listen, the Attorney General wrote an opinion, and this is, I don't know who was asking the question of, is it on the ballot? There's a big controversy because the Attorney General, in my opinion, rightly stated that this thing would overrule, in whole or in part, 170 current laws. He also said 18 parts of the Constitution. The Supreme Court disagreed with that, and that's why it's on the ballot. But when it comes to laws, 170 laws in whole or in part would be overruled if this thing passes. It would give unions, government unions, free rein to overrule laws made by elected representatives. The elected representatives would be powerless because every collective bargaining agreement would be a mini constitutional convention. But of course, all you're seeing in the commercials is this won't cause anyone to join a union, and then all this stuff about the private sector workers. Folks, it has, besides right to work, it will not affect a single private sector worker. It's all about government union power play. And the biggest thing you have to remember is, good job. The biggest thing you have to remember is unions want to make this about right to work. This isn't about right to work. This is about government unions having more power than the people's representatives. So their talking points are right to work. What reality is how much power this would give them and how much power it would remove from the people you send to Lansing, you send to your city hall, you send to your counties, you send to your municipalities. We are finding new things that this thing would do every single day. So we're doing small batches of this, and we're constantly updating it because more and more trickles. And to be honest, I'm not gonna step back and say, hey, I'm blameless, and try to pass the buck. But even the attorney for the supporters of Prop 2, the Protect Our Jobs Committee, even the attorney said, when he was arguing that this thing should go on the ballot, he said to the Court of Appeals, when they asked him, well, what would this do to the state? The attorney said, I don't know, it's not my job. He gave the Pelosi line, exactly, he gave the Pelosi line, we have to pass it to find out what's in it. So even when the supporters of this thing doesn't know what it would do, okay, I challenge you. I want you all to go home, and I want you to Google Protect Our Jobs. I want you to go on their website, and I want you to find the actual amendments language. It's not there. Now you go to our website, miballot2012.org, you're going to see it front and center. There's going to be a great link. You just click. It's right at the top of the screen. Folks, if this amendment was that good, and they were so confident that when people knew the truth, they would vote for it, they would have it plastered all over their website. It would be very easily accessible. The fact that they don't have it tells you a lot.
I'd like to make a comment. I'm probably the only one in the room that feels this way, but I'm not sure if you folks are all aware about the Mackinac Center for Policy. They're probably one of the biggest union-busting organizations in the country. So when he's exaggerating a lot of these things that he's talking about, and he's doing it in a humorous manner, take into consideration that that's where he's coming from. I've heard these people speak before. I've heard them on the radio. And they have every right to know that this is a free country. But also, remember, what he said tonight probably is not all true.
Thank you for the information.
Well, hold on, let's just talk about it. Now, first of all, yes, you're right. You know, for the most part, we think that you cannot collectively bargain with the government, same as President Franklin Roosevelt, same as George Meany. But when it comes to private sector unions, I think that every worker has the right to join or not join a union, but they should not be forced into it. It's called worker freedom. And to go back and say we're nothing but union busters, let me give you a great example, sir. Did you hear of the Roscommon election last week?
Yes.
Yeah. The MEA was representing the teachers of Roscommon. Sorry, you know, we can talk later about this, by the way, if you want to have some fun. The MEA was representing the teachers in the Roscommon School District, sir, and the teachers were getting absolutely nothing from the MEA. And they were fed up, and they called for a decertification election. And we helped them. And you know what they have now? A local union. They're paying half as much as they did in dues to the MEA. They're getting more, and they're getting better benefits because it's all local. Thank you. Because it's local, and they're getting direct representation, and all of their dues money isn't going to Lansing or to Washington to pay for politics they disagree with. So you say we're anti-union, we're actually helping local unions represent their workers better, and taking on the big conglomerate unions that aren't representing members but forcing to do so. And one last thing, right to work actually makes unions stronger because they have to serve their members, and they can't take them for granted. When you have something where all you have to do is take dues and the unions have no say whatsoever, how do you think they're going to treat them? So right to work is actually good for unions because it makes them more responsive to workers. So folks,